One singular sensation every little step she takes. One thrilling combination every move that she makes. One smile and suddenly nobody else will do. You know you'll never be lonely with you. Know who won.
Some shows need no introduction. Is there anybody on the planet that doesn't know that show? A chorus line. I don't know too many shows that hit the boards the way that did in 1975. It was a tidal wave of awards were thrown its way, and it's had many revivals. Last time Civic did this show was in 1994, so it's about time to bring it back, I think. And that'll be our opening show for our 98th season. For those that don't know the story, it's very poignant. It's about dancers auditioning to be in the chorus of a show. And in a rather unorthodox and to some of them annoying way, the director wants to interview each of them about their personal lives. And so we learn about these people as individuals and their different walks and their different problems and the way they see the world. But in the end, everybody's unified and all the individual characteristics are melded into one as they do the final number of the show and dance as a chorus. Picking a season is alchemy at best. It's fun, it's challenging, and some of you might be curious as to how we do it. The first thing that we look at in picking a season is does the show have a strong history? Is it stage worthy? Most of our shows will have had a New York run at some time or another. At least a professional run at some time. We don't do too many things on this stage that hasn't been proven already. We try to look for variety. I know we're often thought of as the musical theater, but we obviously do more than that. We like to mix it up, and when you come to our season, give you drama, comedy, different types of musicals, and a holiday show. I'll bet a great many of you, because I know you, could tell me what the longest running non-musical show in London's West End is, right? Or was. The Mousetrap, Agatha Christie's, ran for, I don't know how many years, longer than I've been alive. But you might not know the second longest non-musical running show in London, which happens to be The Woman in Black, which will be our second show. When we chose this, we didn't know that this was going to be a movie, so some of you may have enjoyed that already. And also, just serendipitously, it falls on Halloween. We don't normally do Halloween shows. We have enough holidays to work around on Halloween, but it seems appropriate and happy that we're doing a ghost story.
Spooky. I don't know what's happening.
Where's the Woman in Black? The story in the movie, of course, will be quite different. This is a theatrical presentation, and all the roles are played by two actors. And there's the third character who does not speak, the woman in black, who may or may not be a ghost. It's a play within a play. And it tells the story of a solicitor who's working through some recently deceased elderly woman's estate and learns of this issue with this woman who keeps appearing in this village, and when she is seen, the events and the effects of her appearance are dreadful and dangerous. And the people I know that have seen this show, and I'm not one of them, tell me that it scared the you-know-what out of them. And so this will be the seventh time we have produced Joseph. This play has had a very long history. I don't know if you all know this, but when it was first put together, it was a cantata done for a school. It was 15 minutes in length. It got a little longer, a little longer, a little longer, a little longer, and they kept building and building and building it. And then when Donny Osmond did it, it reached its peak, and that's pretty much the form that we have it in now. It's our holiday show. We're very pleased to do a show that extends beyond Christmas and goes all the way into early January. This year, because we're here and it's new, we have an opportunity to rebuild the show, redesign it. You'll see this time all new costumes and a fresh new look on the show. And that opens, that's December 14th, runs through January 5th. The playwright of our number 4 selection doesn't like the term farce because he believes that audiences hold the term in low regard. Three Stooges, etc. But I don't hold it in low regard at all. Farce is to me a fascinating art form. And we do farce more often than we do comedy because there aren't so many comedies done. And there is a difference between the two. We think of them as the same. But the comedies are, generally speaking, a realistic situation with funny lines, whereas farce is a non-realistic situation with maybe not funny lines, but funny situations. I find that I really enjoy farce. I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy watching it and learning about it. It's in some ways the most challenging form we have on stage. It seems to have a lot of contradictions in it to me. People are on stage and it appears all silly except all the characters are very deadly serious about everything. It's an art form, it's a performance where physicalizations are very important, but nobody gets hurt if you hit them over the head with a bottle. It seems stupid, but it's very smart. And it has a great tradition. It goes back to the Commedia dell'arte and through Molière, Shakespeare, and there's been so much development of it that it is truly a very, very sophisticated art form. The playwright is Ken Ludwig, and he also wrote Lend Me a Tenor for those of you that saw that this year. So that it'll follow suit in terms of style, and the name of the play is a brand new one. It's called The Fox on the Fairway. I'll set up the premise a little bit for you because it sounds funny. We have two competing country clubs. One is the Crouching Squirrel Country Club and the Quail Valley Country Club, about to conduct their annual golf outing. And they're highly competitive, so the directors of the country clubs make a small bet, which got bigger and bigger and bigger till it became tens of thousands of dollars. Once the bet was settled, we discovered that the director of the Crouching Squirrel Country Club had already acquired the best golfer from the Quail Valley Country Club and signed them as his members. So what is the Quail Valley Country Club to do? Good. Well, luckily enough, one of his new employees happens to be a great golfer, a young man who's an assistant. And all looks well until we find out the young man falls to pieces if something goes wrong in his life, which happens on the 18th hole. And just as he is about to pull himself together and pull this thing out, he breaks his arm. But it wouldn't be bad enough except that the Quail Valley director has bet his wife's business on the deal. Show number 5. There he is again.
Into the woods, it's time to go. I hate to leave, I have to though. Into the woods, it's time, and so I must begin my journey. Into the woods and through the trees to where I am expected, ma'am. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house, and happily ever after, I wish.
That's obviously from Into the Woods, Stephen Sondheim's great accomplishment. There aren't too many times, and almost never, that I choose a play because I liked it in particular. It's my favorite. Not so with this one. Into the Woods is a personal favorite of mine. For those of you that don't know it, Stephen Sondheim uses traditional fairy tale characters to take a close look at life and find out what happens if people get what they wished for. We open that in April of next year. And it's a great show. It won a lot of Tony Awards, and I think the year that it managed to pull those out was the same year that Phantom was up for Tony.
Yes.
Sounds about right. So it had a lot of competition. Music's terrific. The lessons are terrific. It's a play. It's a morality play in many ways. 2 separate acts. They get what they want in the first act, and in the second act, we find out what happens when they do. I hope you're enjoying our new theater as much as we are and being in it. And thank you for coming, and look forward to seeing you all here for our 98th season. Think about that. When this theater started, it was World War I.
Yikes.
Thank
6, 7, and ooh, sigh, give her your attention, do I really have to mention she's the one. Thank you, everybody.